In the first age, in the first battle, when the shadows first lengthened, when humanity first appeared on this rock, it learned one thing almost immediately. Violence. Ever since the first Neanderthal threw his first punch at a Cro-Magnon, humans have been devising new ways to maim and kill each other. From pointy sticks to longer pointy sticks, to cannons to faster cannons, to dropping the sun and smiting all that stand in their way.
Yeah, okay, this is getting a little deep for a funny block game. Paint the Town Red is a 2023 single from singer and rapper Doja Cat and... wait, no. Paint the Town Red is a 2015 beat-em-up that truly asks the question of how many chairs can a grown man take to the torso without flinching? You're given one very clear objective. Slash, smash, and bash your way through everything in your path. Pick a scenario to fight in, and you spawn in with a couple of moves. Jab, swing, and kick. You can pick up objects around you to deal more damage, or throw them to attack at range. As you knock out and kill enemies, you begin to build up power, shown in a bar above your health. As your power charges, you can spend it on more powerful attacks. By default, 1/3 gives you Shockwave. Bringing your fist together stuns enemies around you and sends them flying into whatever environmental hazards they may hit. 2/3 unlocks Berserk, which is just the Doom power-up, allowing you to punch straight through your enemies, transmuting them from a solid being into a liquid on the floor. At a full bar, you pull out a Darth Sidious finger to smite your foes, bringing down the hand of God for a limited time. The locations of violence don't really change much when it comes to difficulty, but it does change the availability of certain weapons. Some maps have more blunt objects, some have more sharp ones, some have a lot of actual weapons, and some have you beating people to death with household items. Besides that, there is a good variety of locales that you can paint red. You can beat up biker bar goers. You can punch some prisoners. You can pummel some pirates in day and night. You can deck some disco dancers, and also a pimp, and a Yakuza boss. And you can clobber some cowboys, and mutilate a mariachi band. Now, like I said, each scenario has different weapons befitting its theme, but each one also hides extra powerful secret weapons, like a pair of machetes in the bar, one wielded by the biker boss and another on the moose's head. You can loot a razor-sharp katana if you manage to defeat the Yakuza boss in the disco. However, as this is a primarily melee-focused combat game, the most powerful weapon you could obtain is
a gun. And if that don't work, use more gun.
Pirate's Cove hides two flintlock pistols, one on the cliffside and the other on the ship's mast, accessed by pulling a dagger out of one of the rigging lines. The saloon's vault contains a revolver, alongside all of its gold. It's one of the most potent tools in this weapon-lacking level, but the most powerful boomstick of them all is located in the prison's surveillance room. 5 rounds of 12-gauge destruction. A perfect weapon for cutting through the prison grate.
Okay, now this all seems pretty fun, right? But what if all of these random acts of violence were not just scenarios in a computer game? What if, say, they were part of a grand conspiracy involving eldritch nightmares from deep within the earth, shady government organizations, cults, and more lore that you could think possible for a game about punching voxels off of people? Alright, so the scenarios that we get to play in the normal game are actually special training based on real events that happened throughout history. Okay, now stay with me here. A vengeful god known as the Trickster influenced people to massacre each other at multiple times throughout our history. Eventually, in an attempt to stage a proper invasion of the surface world, the Trickster, along with the other elder gods, opened up a fissure in the earth, establishing the Spire and the Embryon Barrier to confront the newly formed United Human Defense Force, which began pushing into Beneath. The UHDF, which is the acronym I will now use, created an outpost above the Spire at an entrance to serve as a staging ground. Here, they also experimented with augmenting soldiers with shards of fallen elder gods, aided further by the Apostate, a Beneath minion that defected to the humans. These shards created the 4 primary classes you get to play as in Beneath. As a response to humanity's intrusion into Beneath, the gods sent out invincible pursuers to patrol the caverns, forcing the UHDF to reduce the number of forces they could send down in order so they could stay hidden, resulting in now how we play the game. Okay, so Beneath is a roguelike, meaning you play multiple runs through randomized dungeons, upgrading your character as you play until you can make it to the end. Monsters will drop gold for temporary upgrades and basic weapons, and gems for permanent upgrades and unlocking new weapons. Mini-bosses called Shard Lords will drop the aforementioned shards of a fallen god, which can be used after rescuing the Apostate on one of your first runs for exceptionally powerful permanent upgrades. Now, the progress of the dungeon is very simple. First, you fight through 3 levels of caves, then 2 levels of crystal caverns, and finally 3 stages of ruins. The basic run of Beneath ends with a confrontation with your first elder god, the Necromancer. He's not terribly difficult, just a combination of other monsters you've seen throughout your run. He's especially weak to shotguns, which you know I unlocked as fast as I could. Once the beast is slain, we are teleported to one last checkpoint to spend our remaining gems. This is the gate to the final boss, and since we've only killed one of the Elder Gods, we're stuck for the moment. Once we return to the outpost, we get a promotion and can explore more of the facility. We also unlock the Corrupted, giving you more Necromancer-like abilities. When you enter Beneath once again, you see that an altar has appeared with half of a magical tablet. This is the key to the second Elder God, the Aberration. The tablet needs its second half, which is located in a second altar in the Crystal Caverns. So, speed is the name of the game. It's one of the best upgrades for your character. Even with the slower classes, you need to be able to pick and choose what fights are necessary. Once the second altar is located and the halves have been made whole, a portal to the islands sucks you in. This secret level set has 2 stages, complete with original monsters. The Aberration dwells at the end of Islands 2, and is an incredibly simple fight. Once all of the tentacles have been cut to pieces, we're sent back to the final checkpoint, and forced to return to the Iron Maiden once again. So, the Trickster has a really fitting name, because it's tricky to get to, and is an incredible spike in difficulty compared to the other 2. So first, in Ruins 1, a special item can be bought in the shop, the Pursuer Trap. Hence its name, it can trap a pursuer, which eventually appears if you spend too long on a stage. Once teleported back to the facility, it can be found in a cage in the back. After completing another run, a tentacle will have worked its way through the pursuer's cage and produce a new pursuer's heart. Now stay with me here. This entire time you've been playing, there's been this pale douchebag wandering the facility who will shove you around unprovoked. Well, guess what? Shove this, asshole! Oh, Jesus Christ, oh my god. Once more beneath, you can see the liquid formerly known as the Jerk has dripped down the wall and began collecting in a bloody mass next to the elevator. Throughout your next 4 runs, the bloody mass will slowly grow until a life form bursts out, leaving a trail of bloody footsteps. After a dramatic montage back to Ruins, one of the levels will now be overgrown with bloody vines and more of the footsteps. Somewhere in this level is an obelisk with a trapped great mage, one of the enemies from the Ruin levels, frozen in time. Now, the only way to free this creature is to kill it. Conventional weapons aren't effective, so now we wait for the pursuer. That takes too damn long, just summon it in the shop. When the mage dies, it drops its staff. Normally it will have 1 shot, but because of some of my perks, I have a lot. And while I don't really have the chance to use it, this thing's pretty powerful. It does the Great Mage's summoning attack, which spawns a group of allied monsters. It also lights up in the direction of the Pursuer's spawn portal. Shooting the staff at the Pursuer's portal opens up a gateway to the Construct. Remember all the way back to the lore breakdown where I said that scenarios were actually special training based on real events that happened in history? Since we're in the Trickster's world now, we get to relive twisted, warped versions of those events once again, which of course means kill some prisoners, kill some bikers, kill some pirates, kill some dancers. Our weapons don't carry over into the Construct, but we can gear up with a shotgun from the prison area and a black katana from the Yakuza pit. With all of the areas completed and weapons obtained, it's time to cut down the big man. The Trickster is the most difficult boss yet, with phases themed around the different scenarios. Dual katanas from the disco, boxing gloves from the biker bar, shotgun and shield from the prison, and worst of all, the pirate cannon. Not because of the cannon itself, that's actually really easy to dodge. The dangerous part comes with him flooding the arena, essentially turning it into Flora's lava, because every liquid in this game is an instant death pit. Now, the Trickster doesn't actually take damage from your weapons, despite what it looks like. Damage only progresses his phases. The real way to beat him is using glitches in the Construct to create turrets, which just unload on him, just like when he was masquerading as the Jerk. Three Elder Gods down, which means it's time to end this. However, for some reason, the Trickster doesn't actually send you to the final bridge, instead sending you all the way back to Caves 2, meaning one last run to kill the Necromancer again. Having killed the three Elder Gods and earned their sigils, the minions will let us through the gate to Fire and Blood, a special endgame area surrounded by lava and an army of pursuers. However, located only in this area are ancient weapons that can slay them, but speed is still the name of the game. Paths will rise out of the lava as you clear each island, until you reach a Half-Life style teleporter. Oh god, am I in Zen again? Which sends you to a long, lonely road to the base of the spire, where it reigns. The end, befittingly, is the final test. A monstrous suit of armor on a floating slab, under constant siege from skeletal forces. The only way to earn the right to fight the old one-on-one, is to boss rush all of the Shard Lords. Meaning, the Pyro, the Centurion, the Crawler, the Beast, the Golem, and the Deceiver. I hate him in particular. Once all of his knights are killed, the king loses his armor, and it's a battle of blades. But what this devil didn't realize is I was saving my power. Paint the Town Red is a remarkably deceptive game. A simple premise of beating up voxel people hides an incredible combat system with the perfect tools for its bloody sandbox. No better is this executed in its fully developed roguelike mode with a full story and deep lore that sits modestly on the main menu screen. And in all this, Hey, enough with the lofty words! God, you're giving them the impression that I know how to write well! Anyway, you want to see the VR version?
All right. No, that's fine. I don't care. Playing Sea of Thieves.
Call this the Wilkes Special.
What's up, DJ?
In here? Now he's been defeated.
One more. Okay.
You're missing your face. You're dead. Here we go. You get